Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening to everyone. My name is Alisha Sofiya Muhammad Nafizal and I am honoured to be your moderator for today's forum titled Managing Workplace Conflicts and Fostering a Positive Work Culture in Malaysia. It's a great day for us to have this kind of conversation since most of our audience include students from UiTM Shah Alam, IUM, UKM and also UM, many of whom just weeks away from stepping into working world, either for internship or full-time employment. So it is a better time to gain experience and the reality of working world here. So before we moving forward, let me introduce our panelists for today. Our first panelist, we have Miss Nurqistina Najhah, former HR Director from Ain Arisya, Miss Elisa, Senior HR Strategist and Employee Relations Expertise, and Miss Ain Arisya, Workplace Culture Analyst. Now, let's talk about why we are here today. We will be hearing from our panelists on how they have handled personally workplace conflicts, and also we are going to explore what can we contribute into fostering positive and happy working place. Let's be honest, most of us have seen stories online, especially on X or TikTok, where employee always share or vent their toxic boss, colleagues, unfair treatment or just distress from poor communications. This is not a drama, but it's the reality, and it reflects on how people are going through this every day at work. And even we have witnessed our family members or closer friend need to go through this kind of situation, and they even decided to resign from their positions. So the big question is, first, how we can manage workplace conflicts maturely and constructively, and how we can fostering positive and happy work culture in Malaysia. That's what we will uncover today. So without further ado, I welcome Miss Nurqistina Najhah, former HR Director from Ain Arisya, to share what are the conflicts or problems that always employees need to go through every day at work. Please welcome.
Okay, so thank you, Alisha. First of all, thanks for inviting me here today. Alright, I will explain a few reasons why people argue or fight at the workplace. So, in my opinion, most conflict in the workplace happens because of poor communication between employees, causing information to be not clearly conveyed or interpreted. Secondly, different personalities between employees. As an extrovert who enjoys collaboration, they may struggle with an introvert who prefers working alone. Next, the existence of power struggles or competition between employees in order to get promoted, which often led workers to feel threatened or jealous by the colleague's success, and it will spark the rivalry between them. Furthermore, unclear roles or responsibility. When it's not clear who responsible for what, the task may be duplicated or neglected, leading to finger pointing and blame. And lastly, stress and burnout. High workload and tight deadlines make workers more irritable, and it will increase the chance of conflict to happen.
Ms. Nurqistina, I have a question for you. So basically, how can companies in Malaysia handle workplace conflict?
Okay, so how can companies in Malaysia can handle the workplace conflict? First thing that every company must have is a clear communication channel. Companies like Petronas and Maybank already adopt open door policies and regular feedback session, allowing their employees to raise their concern early before it became a bigger issue. Secondly, every company must train and provide the leaders workshop on emotional intelligence, active listening or mediation skills, which can help the managers to handle the dispute professionally. Besides, Malaysian companies should follow a standard HR grievance process involving documentation, meeting, and third-party mediation if needed. In addition, the companies should encourage a respectful and inclusive culture by promoting and prioritizing values such as teamwork, respect and diversity to reduce bias and miscommunication in the department. For example, Ain Arisya has been praised for practicing an open workplace culture. Lastly, every company should provide an employee assistance program. So, what is EAP? EAP offers counseling service that can help their employees manage stress, mental health, and personal problems that may affect their work relationship. Last but not least, let me share one case that happened recently involving Aubah Technology Sendirian Bahari and Tan Kian Wei. So, the claimant, a production engineering manager, was involved in heated argument with the deputy general manager because he was disobeyed and not to go to the production area. So during the confrontation, he slammed a dustbin in front of the deputy general manager and shouted at him. Then the HR issued a warning letter for disobeying directive and for disrespectful behaviour. The industrial court then held that the claimant action amounted to gross misconduct, justifying disciplinary action. So based on the example that I gave just now, it clearly showed that workplace conflict can happen everywhere. So when all of you might face the conflict, first thing that you must need to do is calm down and then go to HR and try to settle it according to the HR procedure. And do it professionally instead of vent over on media social, which can lead to bad reputation of your company. Okay, I think that's all from me. I will pass to the moderator.
Thank you to Miss Christina for your sharing, and I do agree that most of us today always vent about our problems on social media, but at the same time actually HR are like monitoring us, honestly. And to conclude Miss Christina points, there's a few factors that lead into workplace conflicts, such as poor communication, our personalities, and also there's power struggles or competition between or among employees. And I actually read this one article last night that they give one solution if the employers and employees like having a conflicts. You must have a discussion or a meeting where you need to be transparent and you need to tell them what is going on, since they are affecting the team's dynamics. So along this meeting, you should have transparency. You should tell what your problems and others. And then for this discussion also, you should include one activity that can bond. They can have the bonding together, and so at the end of the day, we can diffuse the tension and the employees also can enjoy their work again. So next we move to Miss Elisa, Senior HR Strategist and Employee Relation Expertise, to share on how we can build happy, positive and productive working culture in company. Please welcome.
Alright, thank you so much, Alisha. So now that we've discussed conflict, let's move on to something more uplifting, which is how to build a happy, respectful, and also a positive workplace culture. A healthy work environment doesn't just mean having beanbags and a casual Friday. It's about how people treat each other with respect, kindness, and support. And so, what does a positive work culture look like? So first, it's a place where employees feel safe to speak up and share ideas and also even make mistakes without fear. And it's where teamwork is celebrated and differences are respected. For example, Companies like Grab Malaysia and also Sunway Group encourages collaboration across departments and regularly recognize employee contributions. And this builds not only motivation but also a stronger sense of belonging.
So to Miss Elisa, how does a positive work culture in Malaysia looks like?
In Malaysia, we hold some cultural values such as in Gotong Royong, we have cooperation and also Timbang Rasa, which is empathy. And these cultural strengths should shine in the workplace too. A good leader knows how to balance authority with approachability and someone you can respect but also comfortable talking to, right? And also mental health plays a really big role in workplace positivity, and it's not just about avoiding stress, and it's about promoting well-being. Companies like Axiata have introduced wellness platforms and counseling support to ensure that their teams are well cared for. And from my experience in HR, I can tell that when people feel respected and valued, they stay longer, contribute more, and also help reduce workplace conflicts. And so it's simple actually. Respect each other, listen more, celebrate small wins, and also create space for empathy. So in the end, workplace culture isn't just a HR's job, it's everyone's job, from the CEOs to the interns. And because when the vibe is positive, in the end, everyone wins, right? Okay, so that's all for me. I'll pass it back to our moderator.
Thank you to Miss Elisa for your sharing, and I do agree with your points. And for me, I think the first step of let's say you are an intern, and I think the first step that we can see in this company that have a positive working culture is when they inviting you for a lunch on your first day of internship. So I think that's how great the company is to have a bonding with each other, and as you say, also have gotong royong and more. So thank you to Miss Elisa again. Next, we move to our last panelist for today, Miss Ain Arisya Bahari, workplace culture analyst, to share the comparison between Malaysia and other countries' working culture. Let's welcome her.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Alisha, and also Miss Elisa, and also Miss Nurqistina just now. Your shared info, like, so you have so many meaningful points, and also I've truly enjoyed listening to your info just now. So hi everyone, my name is Ain Arisya Bahari, and I'm here today as the workplace culture analyst. So basically, today focus, we're going to see how work culture in Malaysia on openness of communication and employee well-being in Malaysia. So through my observation, many employees are actually afraid to speak up to their bosses, to their managers, and also have stated in the survey done by Randstad in 2023, 60% of Malaysians fear sharing problem with their manager and also upper bosses. So basically, we know that Malaysia is highlighted the respect part, the respect culture. It is beautiful, as we know, but sometimes respect leads to silence, which is we don't want it in our workplace. So basically, when these issues become unspoken, the small issues grow to the big one. So it leads to bigger problem, and it leads to things that we don't want to happen in the company. So just like how Christina said just now, poor communication leads to workplace conflict. So this happens. So basically, when people don't feel safe to be honest to others, to their bosses, it can happen to be like misunderstanding, and from this misunderstanding, the rules that we have to ourselves or to our workers become unclear. The stress build ups, and also small frustration can eventually grow into the most serious one. So we don't want that actually. So now, if we take example from Australia and Netherlands, for their company have this kind of adopt this kind of feedback from employees, and also they encourage all employees to do that, and also they're not seen it as a rude or unrespected to their uppers management, but they see it as a way to the company to develop more, to grow, so that they all can go together because they know what is the problem and so on. So as stated in McKinsey reported, they said that companies with open communication actually have 25% more productive than companies that are not. So basically here we can see how open communication works, right? So let's reflect. So how can Malaysia company learn from this all? So basically, saying that we have to throw out all of our culture, just like I said just now, the gotong royong, the timbang rasa, and the warmth, the empathy of Malaysia. But when we have this kind of respect, it doesn't always mean to silent. You need to speak up so that everyone know what happened in the company.
Question for Miss Ain. I want to ask, so as a Malaysian, how do we move forward from this typical Malaysian work culture where we stay quiet and not speak up?
So what can we do? How can we move forward for this one platform that everyone can have? So I think we have to build this safe place which employees can speak up for themselves. So what we can do the anonymous feedback, we can do regular check-ins within the manager and the employees, and just like how Miss Alisha said just now, companies like Grab and Sunway already did it, right? And it builds the positive work culture, as we can see. And also we can do the collaboration and recognition, because it gives the employees the sense of belonging to the company. Because if we give our heart, our full heart, like 100% to the company, we want to be recognized, we want to be known, we want to be seen. So if we give that to them, maybe it can reduce the conflict. We can manage the conflict beautifully like that. So when we think about conflict, it comes to mind, conflict can also lead to mental health being, right? So AIA Malaysia in 2021 stated that Malaysia is the most stressed employees in Southeast Asian. So many company in Malaysia does still have this lack on the mental health support. So what we can do is, we can do like just Miss Alisa just now, like Aziata, they are stepping up their game. Basically they have the wellness program, they have counseling service. Actually there is a big step up for Malaysian companies. So we need more of that, so that we have company in Malaysia can actually manage the conflict beautifully without the employees have mental health being and so on. So I refer back to Miss Nurqistina said just now, we also need importance of the emotionally intelligent leaders. Meaning we want our leader, the manager, the top management to be emotionally intelligent. So we need the leader who can listen, not by ears, not just by ears, but by heart, by empathy. And if we have that kind of emotional intelligence leader, it can lead to more calm workspace, more respectful within the top management and the employee, and also connected workplace, so that we can reduce all this conflict that happen just because we don't listen. And then I think Malaysia have this already strong value, like we are empathic and all, but we need a little bit more open communication and listen more with empathy. But growth is always possible. When there's something happen, we can fix it and grow together as a company. So as a respect, as an open communication, also mental health support is like a big thing that Malaysian workplace need to improve on. But yes, if we improve it from now on, maybe our workplace can be safe, more motivated employees is the best employees that we can have. And also we have the teams that appreciate us, acknowledge us, and so on. So basically less conflict, and when it happened, it became less conflict and more teamwork and more work can be done, right? So I think that's it for me, and I think that we need to acknowledge this kind of thing, so that our company can be one of the top company in the world soon, inshallah. So I think that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Miss Ain Arisya for your sharings, and I do agree that if you have a problem, it's better to speak up and don't remain silent, since silence is a killer. So can I share my opinion on that? For the past few years, I was a manager in this one division, and I need to lead almost 20 staff members. So the way that we want to keep the performance, we want to maintain our performance is our HR department decided to bless a form that all employees need to fill in about our performance, the complaints, feedbacks, or even of my leaderships. So by this, we can actually know what we should improvise in the future, what we should work together, and so at the end of the day, we can have a better outcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our forum. From tackling real-life workplace to exploring how we can create more positive and open work environment, our panelists today just not shared about ideas but practical ways we can use as a future professionals. To all our students right here, remember your voice matters, whether it's standing up for fairness, supporting your colleagues, or for your own mental well-being. You have your own role to play in shaping workplace culture in your company. A huge thank you to our panelists, Miss Nurqistina, Miss Elisa, and Miss Ain Arisya, for your sharing, for your first-hand experience to share with our audience today, and for our audience that coming from afar, even from Johor and UiTM Shah Alam. Thank you for your time and your participations. With that, I conclude our forum today. Thank you and have a good evening.